Walt Whitman, one of the enlightened poets of all time, there certainly went in there with William Blake, who knew there was more than meets the eye, than meets the meat. A famous poem was, "What is the grass?" asked the child, holding it to me with, bunched hands. I screwed that up. How could I answer the child? I don't know what it is any more than he. That's the point. The point is, if you really look at what you think you know about anything, you are going to wind up admitting that you don't know. Everything ends in uncertainty. It's like saying, when you die, I know I'm going to go be with Jesus. No, you don't. No, you don't. Or I'm a child of God. I'd philosophically or theosophically or metaphysically argue with that one immediately. You're not a child of God. You are God in a state of amnesia.
Well, then I do know who I am. I'm God.
Yeah, if you said that, okay.
So
touche. Excellent argument. You're God.
Right.
So what's your experience?
So
tell me, oh Lord, or lady in this case, apparently.
Well, you were saying that you would argue with I'm a child of God, but you wouldn't argue with I am God. So
that's a complete theory on my part.
Right. Okay. Good.
Yeah, that's metaphysics.
That's right. That's right.
Metaphysical theory.
So it's not something you really know either.
But then I'd go to the mat with logically.
Okay. Yeah.
What is God? There's something outside of the infinite, the one. What do you think the one means? The one, period. It's like
but that's
Charles
assuming
Darwin.
that the one exists.
That's assuming that the one exists.
Right.
Well, this person is saying, I am a child of the one.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, is there a Mrs. One? Did the one, have relations with Mrs. One? And
I think the one had relations with oneself.
With itself. That's even worse.
Yeah.
It's a great masturbator. That there's the whole idea of creation. It's like, God went to the hardware store or got some clay and spit on it and made man, or some baloney, some understandably primitive, idea, trying to coexist with the fact that you're an atom in a titanic universe that seemingly is completely indifferent to whether you were ever born.
So I think you're saying that no matter what our beliefs about who we are, they come down to beliefs.
They come down to, I don't know.
Right. Even the one that you say you basically believe in, Arthur, which is
a theory.
There's just the one.
I don't know whether it's true
still
or not.
A theory.
Part of
me
hopes when you die it's complete oblivion.
Right.
So game over. I'm tired.
That's what, and that's really where we're coming from about this. We don't know who we are. Is what the meaning, as Arthur said. The meaning of the word know is very powerful.
It means you really know. Not really know, but you know absolutely. There's without any qualifiers. And know.
And unfortunately or fortunately, all of our knowledge is contingent. All of our knowledge is based on beliefs and theories about the universe.
Anybody ever get a postcard from a dead person? Or you had a tingle once, or you approached the casket and felt the rush. I felt that. Mm-hmm. I felt those nebulous things. I felt the Holy Spirit. I haven't a clue what that means. I know I felt something. But we have to be careful. Because what is a little knowledge is a dangerous thing. It's about to get the human race killed. Al Gore. I know that climate change is a conspiracy by leftist, godless scientists for some reason. But I know it. The Bible says it. I believe it. That settles it. No, it doesn't. It doesn't settle it at all. You want to use that book. There are Hebrew scholars who have been poring over it for, trying to interpret it and fathom the meaning. I'll tell you the meaning. You want a quick meaning of the Bible? The Old Testament means when you walk with the truth, which is God, presumably. You walk with the truth, in relationship with something bigger than yourself, in humility, your life works. When you don't do that, your life sucks. Then Jesus came along, New Testament. You want to follow Jesus? Go. There's a stack of crosses over there, One cross each, first line on the left, Come on, because you have to die to your God of overinflated sense of self. And then you'll be a follower of mine. You have to be willing to die in order to live. End of Bible
And
study.
so I'm thinking there are people out there that are thinking, what does it matter? I mean, why are these people going on
I'm
about this
so glad
question
you
of
said that.
identity?
That somebody more or less alluded to that at our get-together that a
They did?
handful of people showed up at.
I don't think
What do
you
you
can say that
expect?
on
Just too many good breweries open. So it was.
Well,
the
why-
answer is that a real cornerstone, another cornerstone. How many corners do we get of our work? Is that the source of all fear, terror, horror, is the unknown.
Mm-hmm.
And the source of all hatred is fear. Fear and hatred, fearful and hateful is no way to go through life, son.
Now, wait a minute.
So fear and hatred are uncomfortable
Right.
states.
Right.
They are not pleasant. And I don't care how much you go through life believing that, look, on the sunny side, Jesus is going to take me home. It's superficial. It's like a living on pain medication. It's a narcotic. Other people have other, ways of getting through life. Like,
Okay.
so that's why it's important this stuff we're talking about, because there's no real satisfaction. Because there is a persistent terror that is covered up by busy work, like making money, slaving, and working every day, and getting your weekends off and running your errands, and pretty soon your goddamn life's over. That was your life, mate. Do I get a second chance? No, that was it.
Okay. All right. So what the point Arthur's making is that the unknown is a source of fear. And so when we don't know who we are, we're afraid. And what happens when you're afraid is you are...
You're afraid, uncomfortable.
Yes.
But that's the basis of all hatred.
Right. Okay.
Makes
so,
you aggress.
Okay, you
flight,
aggress.
fight.
Okay, but so what I was saying no about and looking like maybe this is
I
interesting.
was wondering what that was about.
So you're saying that everybody lives with this foundational truth that they don't know who they are. And as a result, there's a primal fear underneath, and that's the source of our anger and our
existential
insanity.
angst.
Right, because we don't know who we are. But at the same time, you're telling me that nobody knows who they are is the truth.
That's right.
So what are we supposed to embrace our not knowing and live in this
Yes,
existential
that's
angst?
right.
Well, so we
our
should just
philosophy.
really
It's
get in
called
touch with the
humility.
fear.
It's called
So
really
wait
seeing
a
that
second.
the fool
So
on the hill is a high state.
so you're telling people out there. That's what I'm trying to get to. You're telling people embrace your ignorance, embrace your fear,
Even better
embrace
than that, embrace your craziness.
Yeah.
Because, like it or not, we have to walk around acting like we know who we are, and we know when we are, and we know where we are, and all that crap.
Right.
And the truth is, you're lost in space.
But isn't this
You're
going to
a
make us
mortal,
all
dying
angry?
ignoramus. What?
But if we all really embrace our ignorance, which means we embrace, so we're really afraid, then aren't we all going to be even angrier than we already are?
Let's see. What's our proposed 2 laws of the universe? Exist as form, as a separate thing, and survive as that form. Do you think if you're on the Titanic and you the iceberg's just hitting, the ship's going down, do you think it's better to pretend like Jesus is coming soon and is going to whisk you off the deck? That you believe that God will provide, and I'm going to just pull up a deck chair here and watch the fun, because I know that
God won't let me
God
drown.
is not going to let me drown.
Because right,
The old joke about we sent you 2 helicopters on a speedboat.
Right.
What do you want? And so it's either that or face the reality of where you are at, which empowers you. You're still in a desperate situation. But I suggest there is, and you suggest too, it's your book, that there is a modicum of comfort to be had from being in touch with reality Instead of walking around like, oh, I know who I am. I know where I am. I know what I'm doing.
So
I know where I came from, and Jesus is going to take me home. Yeah, sure. Sure, thank you very much, Mr. Helper. Yeah, that's right. You know all that stuff. You believe that stuff. I mean, there are people in mental institutions who are so out of touch with reality, like an anorexic who looks in the mirror and sees a skeleton, or rather sees a fat person instead of their living skeleton being reflected back at them. They can't even perceive objective reality as it is. And that's why we say in our work also that it's not objective reality that's in trouble. It's our wildly distorted opinions about objective reality: dog, cow, table, ceiling, floor. It's our opinion, our evaluation of all that stuff that's really red-shifted into madness, and it's about to get us killed, like better dead than red.
So it sounds to me like maybe more of the problem is not so much the not knowing, that the not knowing isn't the problem. The not knowing is the fear of what that means, the fear that not knowing imperils our survival, the fear that we can't live without knowing. So we have to construct some kind of belief structure to cover up the fact that we don't know. And maybe a lot of the fear comes from the fear of that edifice of false knowledge being exposed as false.
Very, very much so. There's no security to be had in that. There's no peace.
Right.
It's an act. It's faking it.
So that by embracing
along with other goodies, like I have free will, and when I robbed that bank, I chose to do wrong. I wasn't a psychopathically twisted person who, like that poor woman who had her baby in the Bilo Center down in wherever it was. Yeah. Their free will choice, other damaging things like that, like when you're young and you're deciding how you're playing the game of life, deciding the events or everything is driving you to certain, usually hideous. Even if you want to play a winner, I'm going to be a big shot for my life. I'm going to really overachieve. And you have parents who push you along in that direction. There's no satisfaction in that. You're an act. You don't know who you are. And there's no satisfaction in walking around thinking you know who you are. That's even more out of touch with reality. That's what we say makes us really crazy. The objective fact is you don't know who you are. And if you kept that in mind, there would be not humility. It's not some airy-fairy, nice little idea. It's being in touch with objective reality. It's being in touch with your actual, literal, factual limitations. And at least there's some comfort in that, we suggest. I mean, knowing I'm crazy when I really kind of get it has served me enormously over the years.